Okay, so good morning. It's Tuesday, and we're here. We're here. The weekend is over. The Monday is done. We're now on Tuesday, which I think is a good thing. Let's make it a weird thing now. So I was watching coffee videos, as I so often do on YouTube, and I came upon this one that weirded me out a little bit, but it just seemed like something to try. I know I will probably regret it, but we're going to try it anyway. So there's this thing called Scandianvian Egg Coffee. Now, it makes it sound like you're drinking the egg, and you're not drinking the egg. The egg is actually a filter. So what we're going to do is, I've got a recipe here for, I think they call it Swedish egg coffee, but I think generally it's like Scandinavian egg coffee. Apparently it's popular in the Midwest, also in the northern states such as Wisconsin and Minnesota and the Michiganders. So what it is it's 1 cup of water per cup you want to make. So I think the egg might absorb a little bit of this water. I mean, we're basically poaching an egg in coffee, and then we're discarding the egg. You wouldn't want to eat that, because I think the egg like absorbs the coffee grounds and it's supposed to make it a clearer, less bitter cup of coffee, which I'm optimistic. Why not? So what it's going to take here is going to be 1 cup of water per cup of coffee you want to make. So I've got 2 cups of water here. 2 tablespoons of ground coffee per cup you want to make. I have 1 ounce of coffee here. I'm not sure if it's gonna, nah, it didn't save. This scale likes to go off, but it gives me grams in ounces and pounds if I want it. So, okay, so I do need to add a little bit more here. So I do have 2 cups of water here. I hate to waste a bunch of coffee on this just in case it doesn't taste great. But so yeah, it fluctuates. So I've got 30 grams of coffee in there right now, according to the scale. 1.05 ounces of coffee. I have 2 cups of water. I need 2 tablespoons of cold water at the end, because that's supposed to, at the very end of everything, we're doing it in a saucepan rather than pouring hot water over it. So it'll be a little different here. 1 egg plus the broken up shell, and then 1 cup of ice cold water. I can get the ice cold water out of the refrigerator. I have my egg here. So what we're going to start with is we're going to start by doing our coffee up, and there's really nothing here that says what grind setting the coffee should be at. I'm going to guess a medium fine. A lot of this is about catching all of the smaller pieces of coffee, because the bigger ones are going to sink to the bottom, and then the sediment is not what you want. So I have a strainer ready to go in the sink. So I'm going to do about a medium grind here, and we're going to see what that does. So let's get the coffee in the right place. I'm out of sorts. I don't know why. I mean, I'm doing something. I'm following a recipe, so my brain is like, putting everything out of sorts for whatever reason. And this is the medium roast from Tarife Coffee in Puerto Rico. So I'm very excited about that. I love this. This is a good coffee. Not very bitter. It should be interesting to see what this process does to that coffee. Okay, so that's all ground up. Looking good, smelling wonderful as usual. Okay, so it's 2 tablespoons of cold water. So what we're supposed to do here is I'm going to put this on high over here and get it to a boil. So that's 2 cups of water right there. I'm going to put it over here on the boil. It's going to look terrible. I've seen the pictures. It's going to look terrible. Everyone I've seen taste it has said, ooh, this isn't bad, but I don't know. I don't know. So, let's see. They want this egg in here scrambled along with the shell into interesting sized chunks. So we're going to break this into here, and then I'm going to crunch it up just a little bit. These shells can be pretty sharp, you know. Break it up just a little bit. It doesn't need to be amazing. Wash my hands, because that is the thing to do, because these are American eggs. Now I need a fork. And we're going to get this all mixed up. Get the egg incorporated. Oh, good Lord, this is the worst. I don't know what's going to happen here. It will be fascinating, to say the least. All right, so I've got my eggs kind of chopped up here, broken up a little bit. I've got my egg all scrambled and put in there. We're not doing anything special to the egg. It is all about, I need to add my coffee. I shouldn't have put the fork in there. That's all right. I will add my coffee, and then I need 2 tablespoons of cold water. Okay, 2 tablespoons of water. In there we go. And then we're gonna mix this up. I'm gonna see if I have to add any more water or not. From all pictures that I've seen, it's supposed to come out looking like brownie batter, which if it comes out looking like brownie batter, to be honest, it probably should have been ground a little finer. This looks brownie batter-ish. I've seen chunkier brownies. So what we're gonna do, I'm following the instructions here. So that should be boiling here in a little bit. It's only 2 cups of water in a decently hot saucepan, so we should be okay. This is mixed up. Oh. It doesn't smell bad. It smells like coffee. That's always good. Lower the heat to medium-low and add the mixture to the pot. Simmer for 2 minutes. Remove from heat, cover, and let rest for 8 minutes. So I need to add a cup of ice cold water. Add the ground coffee, 2 tablespoons of cold water, and beat lightly. Did that. Lower the heat. So that just needs to come up to a... And we can kind of see what's happening here. It looks terrible. It looks scary. It is frightening, to say the least. Basically, the eggs clump up. They poach, basically. And or since they're scrambled, I guess they scramble themselves up. And they absorb all of the coffee, small bits of coffee. And it's supposed to clarify the coffee to make it less bitter. Okay, we're coming to a boil over here. I think we're going to add this mess. I don't need the spoon anymore, so maybe I'll just use the spoon to scoop everything out. It smells like coffee. And what more could you ask for? Look how easily it slides out of the pot, too. Wow. Wow. All right. We'll let it do that. We will lower the heat just a little bit. Let it simmer for, 2 minutes it said? We need a cup of ice cold water, which I will go... lower the heat to medium-low and the mixture in the pot. Simmer for 2 minutes. Remove from heat, cover, and let rest for 8 minutes. Add the cup of cold water. The solids will clump and sink to the bottom of the pot. For this to happen, the water has to be really cold. Keep in the freezer for a bit before. Strain it through a fine mesh strainer or a French press and serve. Is this not supposed to be hot? That's Scandinavian, which would kind of tell me that it probably ought to be warm because Scandinavia, you know? So simmer for 2 minutes. I'll give it another 1.5 minutes. Oh, yeah, they had warned about boiling over. So I have no idea what we're getting here. None. But I do know what I see, which is an interesting egg cover of coffee and egg on the top. That's unpleasant. We'll let it go for another, 30 seconds here? That's fascinating. Of course, that's what it does in the water. It just, it's hot, super boiling water, so the egg's going to basically poach and then float to the top. I don't know if coffee is happening under there. I would assume so. I did give it a bit of a stir, so hopefully that incorporates some stuff here. What does it say? He says, what do they say here? Where's it at? Eggshells contain calcium carbonate, which helps to neutralize the acid extracted from the coffee. So not only is it removing the bitterness, it's removing the acid, according to this. And honestly, the bubbles that are shooting up out of there, I don't know, man. So we're gonna take that down, we're gonna cover it, and we're gonna let it go off the heat for about 8 minutes. So let's get our scale with a timer here. Kind of wish this could do ounces and grams as well, but that's okay. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's supposed to be hot. See, all these things are weird. Since there's no paper filter, we keep all of the wonderful essential oils in the coffee beans, okay? There are also several enzymes in the egg which neutralizes the bitterness often found in coffee. So not only does it get rid of the acid, it gets rid of the bitterness. It's just going to taste like brown water. You get a super smooth and mellow cup of coffee. So smooth you may want to skip the milk or cream. Ooh. The recipe multiplies easily. And the recipe does actually multiply easily. It's like, what was the ratio? Where are you at here? They kind of explain it. We'll go over it one more time. 1 cup of water per cup you want to make. So if you want 1 cup of coffee, you use 1 cup of water. 2 tablespoons of ground coffee per cup you want to make. So, you know, if you want 2 cups, you want 4 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons of cold water. That goes into the mixture. 1 egg broken up plus shell. 1 cup of ice cold water. So what we did was we brought the water to a boil, and while we did that, we ground our coffee. And then we put our egg mixture together and stirred it up until it looked like nothing you would ever want to eat. We added it to the water that was boiling, turned the water down, let it simmer for about 2 minutes. Removed it from the heat. It is now resting for 8 minutes. We're going to add a cup of ice cold water, which they said put this in the freezer, and maybe after 8 minutes it'll be, put it in there. They said ice cold water, which is, I think that's all they have in Scandinavia, isn't it, ice? Very easy to get. The solids will clump and sink to the bottom of the pot. For this to happen, the water has to be really cold. Keep it in the freezer for a bit before. And then strain it through a fine mesh strainer or French press and save. Certainly. I just saw this yesterday while I was watching coffee videos, and I'm like, what is going on? So, Comic-Con news. I had a great time. It was so much fun. But I will say, it's getting a little crowded. The booths where all of the people are, it was like a maze. I remember at a certain point you could go straight down this way and then straight up this way down the aisles. And now it's like you have to weave your way around the tables. And I don't know if they did it to spice it up. But they have far too many people crowded into that limited area there. The autographs were great. Those lines seemed fine. I didn't get to meet Peter Cullen, which I'm kind of sad about, but his line was so long. And then Stephen Amell, for some reason, his line was super long. I don't understand why. I know Arrow's kind of popular, but I would have figured with the stuff that he was saying about the writers and actors strike stuff, he might have cooled down a little bit, but no, his line was super long. I got to meet Jeffrey Combs. He's amazing. Cool guy. Todd Stashwick, who was the captain of the Titan A. Amazing person, wonderful, great, very exotic. You know, he's got multiple rings, and he's just that guy. You know, he's that Bond villain. You know, that charms you, and in the end you're like, how did this guy charm me? Well, you know what? This guy's the Bond villain that charmed you, and he's just fantastic. What a cool guy. Nana Visitor was amazing. She's very sweet, very kind. I met a guy. His name is really hard for me. But hang on. Terry Metalis, writer for the Picard 3rd season. Very, very, very cool. dude. I don't know how old he is. He looks like a very young man. Looks like he's just full of ideas, and I want people to hire him to do stuff. Do more Star Trek stuff, please. Please, please, please. I hope I didn't insult him. I said, you just the bright-eyed looking writer I've ever met and in person. And, you know, he kind of, and I'm like, oh, God, please tell me I didn't insult you. I don't know if is that a bad thing? I would think that being called bright-eyed would be a compliment, but I don't know. He was very nice, very kind, offered a very minute bit of advice, you know, which was good of him. I appreciated it. But the comic experience was great. I wore my uniform. It was hot as hell. It rained on me a little bit on the way into the con, and of course I had to park far away, which was not fun, but fine because I got to stop into Big Fun and show Jason, one of the good people that works there, my Star Trek outfit finally, and he appreciated it, which was great. But we got there, and it was full of people. It really was. It didn't feel like I didn't feel smothered. I felt like I could go to a booth and look at things and not feel pressured to get out of the road of people, but there were a lot of people there. But yeah, it was a fun con full of wonderful people. A lot of the costumes I didn't understand. A gentleman was walking around in round sunglasses, like round small sunglasses, a yellow shirt, and carrying a paddle. And I'm like, what? Sir, what fetish is that? You know, it's like people rarely get a time to dress up and be the character they want to be. So it's not like I stop people. I'm like, what the hell are you? There's so many wonderful costumes that are just so intricate and delicate and beautifully made, and that I want to be like, what are you? You know, but some people don't react well to being questioned like that. So, and that place was probably full of them. No, thank you, Siri. I activated the phone somehow. So, I mean, we had a great time. Ooh, 8 minutes. All right, so we're going to add our ice cold water. It was a really good time. I enjoyed myself. So let's go over here and see. So we're going to add that. And then I don't know if it's going to be immediate or what. So we add, so it's still steamy hot, but we're going to add our cold water here. There we go. I'm just following the rules. I'm just following the instructions. So that'll help make stuff go to the bottom, it said. I don't know if that's true or not. I've got my cup, I've got my strainer, and we're gonna strain out a cup of coffee, and we're gonna look at the hell out of it. All right. Oh dear. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is unpleasant. Okay. I see floaty bits. I don't know if I want floaty. I see floats. Okay, that may not have been a fine enough sieve. That's why I pulled out the bottom here. I wanted to double. I'm going to double this. So we're going to pour this into the bottom here. Probably pour the rest of that in the bottom too. We'll strain it into the bottom. The floaties did not spark joy. I mean, look. Oh boy, that is. So that's what the egg's supposed to do. I mean, that's what the picture showed. So that's exactly what the egg's supposed to do. It's supposed to poach and collect all of the coffee grounds. And you can kind of see there's no coffee grounds in there at all, really. Lots of eggshell. Okay, all right, so we're gonna take this. We're gonna put our strainer on and we're gonna strain it. And hopefully we can get fewer egg fewer egg bits. Okay. I see the floaty bits. It's very interesting. So we're going to add our strainer. Get her down there to the bottom. Let's see how much more we can strain out here. I think I'm being optimistic. I don't know if I'm going to drink that much. But as you can see, it did strain out quite a bit more. This is a medium roast, of course. It's pretty light. Still smells like wonderful coffee. There's absolutely no egg smell whatsoever, thank goodness. Eggs don't have that much of a smell until you really cook them, though. So, all right, let's let's see. Okay. Oh well. Okay, that's not bad at all. Yeah, there's no bitterness. There's really no acidity to this coffee. That not much acidity at all. So the steps that we went through clarified it. I want to say it's a little almost slimy. I think the difference between slimy and creamy is very small. It's not slimy like Slimer slime, you know, back in the day, or gack. You know, I don't know what the kids have these days. I'm sure it's a lot less toxic than what we had back growing up, but it goes down easy. It leaves a little residue that goes away. It tastes like coffee. There's definitely a little bit more of an accentuation of the chocolatey taste to it because you've removed a lot of the coffee bitter, and now you're more focused on the notes that the coffee had to begin with. And I guess I could see where someone would think that that's creamy. I can also see where someone would not want to add milk to this. It already tastes very milky, I guess. It already tastes like it's got creamer in it a little bit. It's just all over the place. And you know, what I want to say is I don't hate it. I don't even mildly dislike it. It's actually very pleasant. I don't like the steps that we have to go through. I mean, I don't like the steps that we had to go through, but it tastes really nice. It's actually quite pleasant to drink. Without the floaty bits. Look at all the floaty bits that we've got left down here at the bottom. Yeah, that strainer's not that great. That's what we've got left in the bottom there. And that's an interesting smell, that concentration down there. But this is nice. It's got a nice creamy texture. If you can stomach doing that to an egg, I would say it's definitely worth a shot. You don't need nice coffee. I use nice coffee because I like nice coffee. A lot of the people said that you could just use the pre-ground stuff and it will remove all of that bitterness from that pre-ground stuff, which I can see it doing actually. It really changed the bitterness profile of this coffee. So now you just get nice. It's so weird because it's creamy. It's so strangely creamy and sweet, a little sweeter, because it pulled out a bunch of those, a bunch of that bitterness that was inherent in coffee anyway. I don't know. This is weird. This is weird and delicious. There you have it. Weird and delicious. So that is Scandinavian Egg Coffee, and I would say at least once in your life, if you get a chance, you get like, 20 minutes in a day, free to do with what you want, try this. Get yourself an egg, get yourself some nice coffee, give this a try. I think you'll like it. Thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow. I will not do this egg coffee again. I'll find something else to do. But until then, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.